This is Umar for BoxNation, and we're in the Kingdom, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I'm joined by Don Charles, who's had a bit of an eventful week. I'm not just talking about flying in a few hours ago, so that's why you may be a little bit tired, Don.
I'm a little bit tired, but I can still talk. Nothing will ever shut my mouth. No matter how tired I am, I'm still going to be able to talk.
Brilliant. Well, listen, we will come on to Usyk-Dubois too, and what happened at the press conference and the media days, etc. But let's talk about why we're here firstly. It's a Canelo Alvarez bill in Riyadh season. I'm delighted to say one of your guys, Mikaelian, will be fighting Badou Jack. In what you believe, your man, of course, is going to come out on top. That might not be what the bookies think and the boxing public, but yeah, tell me why he beats Badou Jack this Saturday.
As you know, Noel never lost that title in the ring. He is the champion, and he had some contractual issues or politics with his promoter. Hence why he hasn't fought for a while. And meanwhile, they made him champion in recess. They took his belt off him and awarded it to Badou Jack. And, you know, which is not right because he never lost his belt in the ring. So the way the good Lord has it, Badou Jack's original opponent pulled out with injury a few weeks ago. And they offered it to my guy if he wants to take it to get his title back. And the answer was unanimously, yes. We discussed it. It was a short notice, granted, but it's an opportunity to go and get his belt back. And I believe, and we believe that that's what's going to happen on Saturday night.
Even with this short notice, you believe just the talent, the hard work of your guy will overcome Badou Jack, who is, he'll admit himself, right at the end of his career. He's had a phenomenal career.
Yeah, he has. He's a legend. You know, Badou's been around for a long time. It's in a free weight division. He's campaigned that, been very successful at them, and we respect him. You know, listen, this guy is very experienced. You know, it's not going to be an easy task, but I'm very confident in my guy's ability and desire and will to be able to be successful on Saturday. That's why we're here.
Absolutely. We shall see, hopefully, a very good fight. And for your guys' sake, that Noel comes out with victory.
New. And still.
Okay, Don, just stripping it back to Monday and Tuesday, where I thought that the start of the build-up for Usyk-Dubois has been phenomenal. We're not even anywhere close to fight week, and a lot of people are talking about it. There's a lot of interesting narratives. Really, the biggest point from the press conference I felt, though, was your interaction with Oleksandr Usyk. Now, the things that you said on that press conference table, you've said to me, you said to other guys during interviews and stuff, but you were very direct and forthright in saying to him that you're a religious man, or you claim to be, and I view you as a con man and a cheat for what happened in Poland that night.
Yeah, what it is, I don't like to, I've said enough now regarding what I said on Tuesday at the press conference. Yeah? The fight is announced now. Like you heard Daniel, he said at the press conference, he said, right, enough now, I just want to get in there and fight. And that's the mood the fighter is in. I too, as a coach, I've said enough now. I've said what I've said, and there's no point in me regurgitating and saying it again. I too am in fight mode. We've had a meeting at the gym with the whole team, Daniel's father, and no more going back, like looking back. Yeah, we've said what we said. We've made our point. We're now gonna go concentrate, devise a game plan to be successful against Oleksandr Usyk on the 19th of July at Wembley Stadium. So let's go forward, because I'm fed up of regurgitating that point.
One question I do want to ask about that. Do you think you went too strong in what you said to Oleksandr Usyk?
No regrets. Come on, man. No, it had to be said. It had to be said, I've said it in the past. That was an opportunity to tell him again, yeah? And I've said what I have to say. He knows this is real. This is real. Yeah, and like I said, our efforts will be channeled, the fighters' efforts, my efforts as the head coach, the team, our efforts will be now channeled, like I said, devising a brilliant game plan. It has to be a master game plan to be able to be successful, and I believe we will be successful on the 19th of July. You won't hear another word. I've said enough. I think I've said enough. When you say going in too hard, no. When you speak the truth, that's not going in too hard. The truth is the truth.
Don, I've covered a fair few of Oleksandr Usyk's fights, and he's very cool, calm customer. The fights with Tyson Fury, we all know he can speak English, but he didn't say much because he didn't want to get in that mental battle with Tyson Fury, which I thought was a very smart move because Tyson beats most of his opponents before you get in the ring with him. I did have to be honest. I did see a different side to Oleksandr Usyk.
You did or you didn't?
I did.
Okay.
I thought it was quite enjoyable. He was more vocal, but he did seem at times a little bit agitated. And that interaction with George, your son, George Fox, where he called on a 4-on-4 street fight. George didn't mention anything about kind of that thing. Do you think he's rattled?
Well, you'll have to ask Oleksandr Usyk. That's quite uncharacteristic of him to step outside. You don't expect that from him to suddenly, this genius fighter, boxer, to step out to start saying, let's take it to the streets. That's kind of very uncharacteristic of him. So obviously a nerve must have been hit for him to do that. Like I said, I'm reluctant to do any more interviews because, like I've said enough. I've made my point, and it's fight time, baby.
How do you think your son handled himself, though, George?
George is an independent person, I must tell you. He took it upon himself to go and pose that question to Usyk. He's an independent man. He felt he had to ask him that question, and he asked him the question. I felt he dealt with it well. It's not planned. It's just a random thing, and it's all been said now. Like I said, everyone, you can probably hear, in that press conference, I was on edge. People don't realize the significance of press conferences. I've done quite a lot of press conferences over the years. The fight starts there and then, in the sense that it's the spiritual, the mental warfare, it's going on. So when I speak the truth, nothing but the truth. And like I said, the fight is on, but I don't want to say any more. That's it. You won't hear anything else from me between now and the fight. I have to now lock myself away in the back cave. Lock myself up in the back cave and cook up a good game plan to go and talking. It can be cheap. We're not going to do more action and less talking.
Something that was quite a good point from, I think it was Aegis or Alex, I can't quite remember. They made the point that we fought Daniel the Kid 2 years ago in Poland. Now we're fighting Daniel the Man at Wembley Stadium. I'm sure you agree with that, Don.
Well, yeah, that's an observation they have to make. Yeah, they're right in their observation. It's their duty to observe us. It's our duty to observe them. It's about knowing the enemy. Yeah. At any level, especially at this level, you have to know the enemy. And I believe like I said, we're going to forensically examine every piece of information, every piece of action in order to be successful on the 19th. And we've got enough experience, to be able to achieve that.
Listen, we look forward to it. Frank and George Warren told me that 60,000 tickets went in the first 24 hours.
Already? Wow. That's I don't believe an undercard has been...
No.
But wow, that's remarkable. Wow. 60,000.
Within 24 hours, yeah.
That's remarkable. That's the British fans for you know what I mean? Boxing's live in UK, in Britain, I know we're in Riyadh right now. It's also live here, obviously, yeah? And but to get rid of 60,000 tickets within 24 hours of release, that's remarkable. And imagine, I haven't got a clue what the undercard will be. So imagine when that's added on, surely that should push it to get capacity again.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
I think a lot of that is down to Daniel's performance at Wembley Stadium with Joshua.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It takes two to tango, and Joshua as well. You know, obviously. No, remarkable. Wow. I'll be honest with you, I must say I'm really surprised that already 60,000 tickets have gone. Come on. Keep pushing it. Let's get to the maximum, you know? Yeah, it's the summer. Football season's over by the time this fight happens, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so, you know, people need some entertainment. You will be like Daniel said at the end of the fight, of Joshua's fight, are you not entertained, you know? So let's entertain you.
That's probably my favourite moment of the whole night.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that caught me out. It was quite emotional. And whenever I watch it back, at that point, I get really emotional about it because what a thing to come out. You know, it's so fitting. It was so fitting. Yeah.
Listen, that was entertaining. I'm sure July 19th will be. Just to close off, on your boy George, look, he's been out the ring for a long time. What is the situation? Is there a comeback pending for your son?
Yeah. He hasn't boxed for 3.5 years, which is a long time to be out. There are reasons. You know, he had some health issues, which has been put right, you know, and when you've had long COVID or something, yeah, it's like every time in the last 3 years he tries to train, it breaks down. We've got to the bottom of it. It's out of his system, and since then he's become a father to twin my grandchildren, you know. So it hasn't all been bad in the sense that although he hasn't been pursuing his dream, his career, he's been busy making babies, and he's given my first set of. When I say first set, it's my first grandchildren. I was expecting a grandchild, but suddenly, the way God's blessings, we get blessed with two. He's got twin boys. I've got twin grandchildren, 2 boys, Elijah and Hendrix, you know, beautiful boys, and God is great.
Well, congratulations on that.
He's back in training, touch wood, and he's faring up well. And let's see. It'd be a shame because I know how talented he is. It'd be a shame if he never completed his journey as a professional fighter, to see how far push it. If he doesn't win, when he first started, you know, I didn't actually want him to box in the beginning, but he's good at it, so I allowed him to do it. If my son don't become British champion, let's say in his career, even if he achieves that, that's remarkable. Where I'll be happy, definitely. He'll be happy. And for him not to actually, like, let's say, use that God-given skills he's got and ability and become a minimum achievement will be British champion. And we'll see when he gets there, see what happens from there on. Okay.
Well, listen, you must be one of the youngest granddads going.
Youngest, I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm getting on, my man.
Okay, then, yeah. Granddad Don, thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's got a ring, Granddad Don. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. So best of luck to Noel this Saturday night in Riyadh.
Yeah.
And we'll speak after his fight.
Thank you, Umar. God bless you, man.
God bless you too.
Queensbury, the biggest fights and the biggest nights. Home of champions.
Home of knockouts.
There's no way back from this.
The home of the future.
And this is it.
The global home of boxing.
Queensbury, exclusively on design.